Hello, and welcome to Next Up with NAMIC St. Louis. I'm your host, Will Houston. I'm the Marketing and Technology Chair of NAMIC St. Louis. And on this podcast, we're here to explore the stories, experiences, and insights of dynamic professionals making strides in their careers. We'll be speaking with those who are on a journey of growth and advancement. Our goal is to inspire, inform, and connect you with incredible talent shaping the future of the communications industry. Thank you for joining us today. Let's introduce our next guest. Welcome back to a new year of the Next Up with NAMIC St. Louis podcast. This week's guest is Anitra White. Anitra is a seasoned IT professional with decades of experience with a large telecommunications company. Anitra is also the vice president of the Chicago chapter of NAMIC. Anitra is a serial entrepreneur and is also involved in hobbies from working on muscle cars to biking and events in multiple countries. Let's get into it. Anitra, thank you for joining Next Up with NAMIC St. Louis podcast.
Hey, thank you for inviting me. I'm glad to be here today, sharing this with you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm excited about this. You're the first episode of the year, so we're starting off on a new foot, sort of with a new theme. And so I'm glad that you, of course, agreed to doing this, and I'm glad that that it is you doing this. So as we get started, can you just give us a little bit of intro? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Anitra White. I am the vice president of the Chicago NAMIC chapter. I've been with Comcast for about 18 years. And I guess this one is about financial information. And I don't think I'm a advocate and like the authority of anything, but I've hustled my way through many a situation. So I feel like finance is something that comes up all the time. And there's always a will and a way to do things. You just have to think either how hard do I want to work, or maybe this is not something I want to do at this time. So I feel like it's a conversation that we all have to, take in mind going to this next season of 2026.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think you're 100% right. It's great to, have the jobs like we have, kind of where you're in the tech field or in the telecommunication space and you make pretty good money, but if you don't know what you're doing with it, and it's just going right back out the door, right? So
Yeah,
so
definitely. Bad investments or just bought shoes. Either one of those could be detrimental to your
it,
finance.
oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. No, you're so right. You're so right. And so I think that with that, I think it's, again, like you said, it's a very important conversation, and it's a practical conversation, one that you can kind of add into your life in real time, as opposed to some pie in the sky. What are your goals? Which is having goals is good, but being able to say, okay, here are some good tips and tricks that we have that we can set a baseline groundwork for how to move into 2026 with good financial insights. I think that this can be really good for that. So what are some of the, I guess, tips and tricks that you kind of have, or some of the things maybe that worked in your life as far as ways to build financial resilience?
When I think of resilience, I think of my mom. I came from a single parent household for majority, and you know, we never wanted for anything, but I saw my mom working. Like
Hmm.
sometimes, around Christmas time, she might take a second job, because Christmas is going to be Christmas no matter what.
Hmm.
And she put us all through private school, but she said, "Hey, you got to get scholarships for college because it ends here."
Hmm.
So that kind of philosophy of putting in the work to get what you want has come from there. So
Yeah.
I always knew that, hey, mom can only do this much.
Hmm.
So what do you got to do to fulfill the other part of your goals? Like, hey, we got uniforms coming up. My brother had a newspaper route. Hey, jump on with him so we could do newspaper so I can have my own money. I don't have to be sitting always there asking for things. So I think that's carried on with me throughout life is what can you do to help yourself? You
Hmm.
can't always ask people for things, and some people, you can ask and you can ask your way out of blessings.
Hmm.
So what can you do to move the goalpost yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you hit on something really important there, right? There was no, failure wasn't an option, right? It's no, oh my gosh, I don't have it. What am I gonna do? It's okay, well, I'm gonna figure out what to do, right? And,
Right.
and so, and I think, and it sounds like that's something that you learned at a very young age, where it's like,
you know, your sounds like your mother, she was doing what needed to be done to provide for you, but not only provide for you, also get you through private school, right? That's a step above, right? And so
Right.
to
That,
and
that was
yeah,
her extra kick. She's like, hey, I
exactly.
can do this for you.
Uh-huh.
But once you're here, like you're gonna see other things here.
Yeah.
And we can't afford all that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in the future, you might want to do some of these things. I'm giving
Yeah.
you access to see what people
Exactly.
have and what they could do with their money. So I
Yeah.
think for me, I thank her for the access
Sure.
to see those
Sure.
things. So it could, change my perspective and how I kind of move through life because of that.
Yeah. Well, and it sounds like also you and your brother weren't just kind of sitting around, right? You were like, okay, well, uniform, I need a uniform. So what can I do, right? Whose grass can I cut? Whose newspaper can I drop off, right? How do I get out there to help myself, but also, help take some of that burden off, right?
Right. I think we both like had, jobs when we were kids. So I think she really appreciates that and
Yeah.
like kind of the hustle that we are today. I'm constantly looking for if there's money to be made, I
Yeah.
will make it.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like actually the side hustles are fun for me.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing those things. It feels like a different skill I get to learn every time I get to do something. So I enjoy the work. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think we're a lot alike in that because, one of the first things I was taught when I was young also was if you don't have it, right, the thing you do is figure out how to get it. Right. And I think that I got a lot of respect for that. I got a lot of respect for that.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to go, and I wish there were things still out there for our youth like to do,
Hmm.
where they would learn responsibility. Like you don't see as many. Well, right now it's snowing, right?
Right.
And I haven't seen one person out with a shovel because I
Oh, wow.
gladly would have given somebody 10, $20 to shovel in front of my house. Mowing the lawns is not one of my things.
Yeah.
I've looked for there used to be when I was a kid, somebody came around with a lawnmower and a gas can. You
Hmm.
don't like see those things kind of anymore.
Yeah.
And there's no newspaper routes either.
Right.
So what are kids gonna do? I mean, you didn't make a lot of money doing a newspaper. You did have to get up very early to
Yes.
get the newspapers in and out. It was like before school,
Yeah.
but you got to check and you got your own little money coming in so you can go buy your own little thing. So
Yeah.
it gave you like a sense of independence. So I'm like, what are
Exactly.
we going to do to gain those little independent moments? We all can't be TikTok stars.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do?
Right, exactly. Right, and even more than the money, that's what it gives you, right? Is that sense of independence, that sense of, oh, well, if I want something, then I know how to do this, 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 and this to go get it, right? And I think that that's
Right.
that's super important. You've taken that mindset that you learned in your childhood, right? You've taken that from your youth now into adulthood. Can you tell me a little bit maybe about some of the side kind of some of the types of, you don't have to tell me exactly what you do, but some of the types of like side hustles that you do, and then also just kind of how you apply that into your regular day-to-day job and how those two finances kind of mesh together.
I'll go through like my most recent kind of adventure.
Hmm.
Um, I have a salsa company.
Oh yeah,
And
nice.
somebody would go, what? Like that's a little bit of statement, but it happened out of a little bit of envy of
Oh, okay.
someone, my other friends. So, but they didn't have a salsa company. I
Hmm.
was I was envious of their hustle.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, my friends had a juice stand
Mm.
at the farmers market. Uh, Funny name, two girls, one bike, and
Yeah.
they had a bike which had a blender on it,
Oh,
and they got fruits and vegetables donated, and they would make smoothies every Saturday morning. Now
wow.
we're adults,
Yeah,
like we're like 20s and 30s. They
yeah.
would do this every morning, every weekend to have just blow money,
Yeah,
just to blow on the weekends. And I was like, man, that is impressive that we're all out right
yeah,
now. And
yeah,
they're going to leave going on having fun, spending money
yeah.
to get up and go do this weird job that they thought of by making smoothies on a bike.
Yeah,
And I looked at myself, I'm like, I have actual skills.
yeah,
What am I doing? I'm like, they're doing that. And
yeah.
I'm like, that's not going to be a full time job or
Right.
anything, but I have things that I could do
Yeah.
that I could provide myself with more money. And
Mhm.
that's where the salsa company came from.
Yeah.
Like, I got some, went to kind of a structured ideas week with like a sponsor.
Yeah.
She gave really good advice. Her advice pushed me towards like coming in, understanding how to come in with cash flow, how to do these things. And I did at the same farmer's market that they worked at, but it was a different farmer's market. I wasn't with them because they had them all over the city.
Yeah.
And that one business turned into three.
Wow.
And within 1 year, I ended up, because I needed a truck. I had a car at that time. I ended up selling cars because the cars I got were so cheap and they ran really good.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up flipping cars because
Wow.
I could get them like half to a third of what they would actually cost. So I started selling cars, and that not only afforded me to buy the truck that I needed for the farmer's market,
Right.
but my car went out.
Yeah.
And I drive one of the cars. I still drive one of the cars I bought at auction. The Salsa company went really well. I ended up working with some of the people from Top Chef, and I ended up on TV, like our
cool.
local regional news on a segment. So I was like, that's where the hustle, if you really dig into hustle, it can go somewhere. Like I bought a food truck. So like it really went from their idea and kind of being envious that they were doing something to, hey, I could really do this too. If I put my mind to it, I could really make a true business out of this. And that's what happened.
That's
So
amazing.
I think if you have, we all can't, there are finite positions within companies, like within any of our companies in our structures. Like we all can't be the president.
Yeah.
We all can't be management. It's not possible. There's so many people for that job. So while you're waiting, like, why not pursue some of your passions? You got other things that maybe you're interested in and that you're doing. Why not make it a business? I think that is something that we should really take advantage of. If you're doing something for yourself, why can't you make it a business?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's amazing. That is an amazing story. And I mean, there's so many different things in there, right? And not just right. There's the part where it's like, okay, I saw something, I saw a space where I could get in, and then you got in. But then there's other nuanced things in there, right? Like for one, the big piece, right, is that you grew that into a larger business to where now you have a food truck, right, which I think is amazing. And then there's another nuance piece in there that I think is missing out a lot these days, right? You talked about kind of TikTok culture, but there's this lack of community, right? And you've not only did you start a business, but it sounds like you also found a kind of community, a farmers market community, and then a community that then you took your business away from that into a food truck, right? Which is kind of also still kind of branching out into the community. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Just sort of if that had an impact on you at all as well?
The structure of the farmers market, the one we have in our city is like one of the largest farmers markets like in the country. Like they
Oh,
go and they
wow.
work with all of them. So it's very structured, and I take this for them. It's structured to move you to brick and mortar.
Mm,
That's kind of their goal.
yeah.
So you get a big packet with all their requirements, and it's made in a way to almost make it scalable, honestly.
Mm,
So you have to have your licenses from the city. You have to have all your licenses from the state. You have to be certified and all the things before you can start. So
mm,
hey, if your business grows, you're able to grow with it. You don't have to go backwards.
mm,
Also, it gave me things I didn't know, like my stand was next to the vegetables. And so I got to try more vegetables than I've ever had before. They would
yeah.
come over like, hey, we got these things. We're gonna, we didn't sell them.
Yeah.
So do you want them? And one thing about it is I had never had leeks before
Oh, yeah.
or skates.
Oh, wow.
And so the guys would just give me like all these garlicky products,
Yeah.
and I added into my product and it made it so much better. So like the farmers market expanded my knowledge of food because I'm an IT. I
Yeah.
don't come from a
Right.
food background at
Yeah.
all. I know to go to the grocery store and get it. I know how to make it, but
Yeah.
all these extras that they had access to, it gave me access to farm to table, which
Wow.
increases the price of what you can put out for a product, which
Yeah.
actually adds revenue. But I'm actually speaking to the farmer.
Yeah.
I'm not going through a third party. The farmer is coming and bringing me product, and we're working together. So yeah, that's a type of community that works. And in the age that we're in, you don't know who makes anything.
No.
You just go to a store and get it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool that you could actually have a grassroots where you guys are keeping money circulated amongst each other.
Yeah.
It's very cool to have that. And where we're at today, I think we need to go back to some of those things like shopping local, keep things open locally, keep people employed locally.
Yeah.
That's what changed my perspective on a lot of things, because these guys only work like 6 months a year and then they take off to like Panama for the rest of the year. I'm like, really? Farming works like that? They're like, yeah,
exactly.
I don't stay up here. I was like, maybe I'm in the wrong business.
Maybe
right. I did not know that,
6 months. I'm in Panama.
Also, the other thing was there weren't a lot of people of color in the farmers market. So that also was a little different going with the clientele that came to the farmers market and me.
Yeah.
That was a whole different thing. They've never seen someone like me there.
Yeah.
So I had to work on soft skills.
Sure.
And just because I think I have good food, how am I going to get people over here to try it?
Right.
How am I going to get people, to trust that I'm a good producer and I'm going to be here and keeping things up? Like I really had to stay on top of things more so than I thought of. I thought, hey, I just make this good food. I come out here and I do this and everything's going to be fine. That's not necessarily true. Like advertising, all kinds of things, signage. I learned so much from that, but I think going back into what I think it made me better at the job I had because I was a little bit more sociable.
Right.
You got to be able to talk to people.
Oh, yeah.
Got to be able to sell yourself. I'm grateful for those things because, it's on the spot in the moment. I need to take your money, sell you, smile at you, and get you to come back next week. I need to do all those things.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's what little businesses do.
Yeah, that's it. And I mean, oh gosh, yeah, you hit on so many things there. I think that that's a great thing, right? Because not only are those practical ways for you, like you said, to have other streams of income, right? Because again, even in the tech field, you're in IT, and we're both here in the telecom field. You can make pretty good money, but there, sort of the uncertain times that we're in, it's important to not fully depend on just one thing, right? And so now you have not only built another way for yourself to have another type of income, but a community as well who has a stake in you being successful, right? Which it maybe sounds a little cynical, but honestly, it's kind of how small business, like you said, it's how small business works. And having the ability to kind of maneuver in a small business, it sounds like that's really been not just it sounds like it's moved from being a side hustle to being lucrative.
It was, but one of the things I learned was if you don't come in owing money, it makes it a whole lot easier. And
very true.
That's where selling those cars came in, and it took a lot of stress off. You're not always going to have good weeks. It's kind of like work. It's not always going to be a good day.
Yeah.
And so you got to understand that next week will probably be better, but also were there any changes that you need to make that better?
Right.
I learned a lot of that. I didn't have all the, I think, management skills before that. And I think it helped me like, hey, you need to develop these things because I'm also managing people.
Right. Exactly.
And that's a different monster all in itself. Like, how do I get these people to produce for me?
Right.
And work for me and do it how I want it done, not how they think it should be done. I had never done those things. So we're learning on the fly, but you got to be good at it on the fly, and you can't let them see you sweat.
I love that, and that actually is a perfect segue because I do want to kind of start talking a little bit about continued education and personal growth. You're in IT, you found another way to kind of bring in some other income, and you've been able to learn some other skills and grow personally through those experiences. So in what way have you been able to tie that type of continued growth into your professional resilience, sort of back in your telecommunications job, and possibly even just in financial literacy for yourself, and then maybe how you angle that to other people who might ask you about that as well?
It's the season of the past few years. We're seeing a lot of change.
Oh, yes.
Within every company. You can't be blind to what's happening. Everybody is looking for more money. Everything's getting more expensive. The way I feel about it is happening for me about 2 years ago. I was starting to feel that kind of pressure, like,
Yeah.
They're asking for more. They
Yeah.
want more.
Yeah.
And if they don't get more and we don't have the money, there could be cuts. We all see that in company. You could see like Amazon just laid off like 20,000 people.
Yeah.
UPS has laid off people, and we're all in this large company. So I thought about that. What can you do to make yourself more valuable within the company? Because I'm like, I've been here for a long time. It's
Yeah.
not like I'm up and ready to go. Like there is the food truck, but I haven't made that mental commitment to that. What are we going to do to keep ourselves stable right now? And I decided to go back to school. One day something happened at work and I was like, I literally picked up the phone and called to our educational assist, and I was enrolled by the end of the day. It's such a weird situation,
Yeah.
but I was enrolled by, it started at 10 a.m. I was enrolled by 2 p.m. on the way to school. I was like, I can't believe this happened so easily. But it was good because it gave some more structure to my life, but also it started to tighten up those soft skills. I talked about it before, managing people. If I want to move up and do these other things, I got to learn how to tighten up the skills around me
Yeah.
to make myself the person they want, not the person I think that they should hire.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that right now they're looking for people who can't just do my job. They want to see, can I do something else? They don't really want to go out and hire somebody else to do that job. They want to hire from within. They want you to develop, but they don't have the time or funds to develop you. So are you going to develop yourself? And that's what I was
Right.
thinking. I was like, I want to develop myself
Yeah.
because when they come looking, I want to be the best candidate.
Absolutely.
So I went back to school. They want me to graduate next year, but that's a lot of classes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stretch it out to my required time. But anybody that talks to me, I fully support, especially within my company. I'm like, if you've been here as long as I have,
Mhm.
and you haven't taken advantage of the educational assistance, it's like you threw a degree in the air.
Yeah.
It's all like once I started doing it, I'm like, man, I could have done this years ago.
Yeah. And then you start thinking
I
back, well,
could have,
if I'd have done this
yeah,
4 years ago, I'd be done now. Or if I had done this 6 years ago, I'd already be, yeah.
I'd had that position now.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
might have been a little bit easier because the environment was a little bit different, but
Right.
you can't dwell on it. But what we can do is say that, hey, we know that one of the ways to pull yourself up is through education.
Yeah.
That's one of the easiest ways you can do it.
Hmm.
And with what's happening in our government, the
Hmm.
dismantling of education, the
Hmm.
dismantling of federal aid and funding,
Yeah.
this may be the best way if your company is giving you the opportunity that will pay for it. If you get passing grades, take advantage because
Yeah.
not everybody has that. So,
No.
I talked to my team. No, I did it like this was it. We had a meeting on Monday and I
Yeah.
talked about, I'm like, hey guys, I'm in like year 2.5. Anybody want to join me?
Yeah. Right.
And I didn't get a lot of push,
Yeah.
but I was like, we all be taking these classes
Right.
together, but because
Yeah.
it is still within the IT field. I'm going for cybersecurity,
Yeah.
and it's making the time and dedication at this
Right.
point. Because talking about I need more money does not equal more money.
No. Not at all. No. And I was actually going to ask you that what you were going back for. And because I was wondering in your thoughts, and this, I think I'm inclined to agree with you on the cybersecurity piece. But I do want to delve into that a bit more. Is for professionals, for people who are looking to go back to school in the landscape that we're in now, right? Where we're talking about all these world-changing technologies from AI to possibly quantum computing, where it can completely turn the cybersecurity world upside down, right? And probably going to be people who make a lot of money with cybersecurity degrees, by the way, throwing that in there. But what fields, right, or what educational silos do you find may be best for people in this field?
There's more hacking going on
Mhm.
than people know.
Yeah.
There's so much that needs to be secured. There's so many companies that need to be secured.
Mhm.
And AI is not the answer today.
Yeah. Yeah.
AI could be the answer in 5 to 10 years, but not today. And I don't think it's going to be 5 years. I think it's going to be a little bit longer than that because there are different contingencies that AI needs to work,
Right.
like land and access to water. or
Oh yeah.
nuclear. Those things are just not available,
Mhm.
just readily available, you know? So we still need people to do these jobs. We need humans to do these jobs
Yeah.
still.
Mhm.
So could you go into cybersecurity? You could.
Mhm.
However, talk to somebody else. What is your foundation? Because you can go into cybersecurity and you can learn it, but if you have no foundation about what you're actually going to be working on, then it's not going to work. No one's going to hire you for that job because, I used to be a culinary chef and now I'm doing cybersecurity, but I barely know how to turn on a computer. Well,
Yeah.
that's not going to work.
Yeah.
So you have to find things that are somewhat scalable and aligned what you do. Could you pivot hard? Yes.
Mhm.
We need things like in this world, we need like a lot of nurses
Mhm.
right now.
Mhm.
That's not a bad field to go into. Analytics is huge.
Oh yeah.
And that doesn't take a whole lot of background, underneath background, but I thought about that, but that is a part of what we do. Diving into the analytics and granulars about what is making things go in the trends. There are not enough people who have enough skill to do those jobs.
Mhm.
If you go out to like Indeed, LinkedIn, and you put in analysts, there are just jobs popping up
Oh yeah.
everywhere for that.
Oh yeah.
So those are things where Power BI and stuff. You could take courses in
Mhm.
those and become proficient and be able to do it quicker than say a cybersecurity job.
Mhm.
Because I tell people be wary of the ones that are online
Yeah.
and they're trying to offer you degrees. If they're offering it to you online, I'd look underneath the hood of that. It
Yeah.
seems like that's a for profit.
Yeah.
They might not be putting out quality students. You just got through and you got this degree, and then you go out and try to use it, and somebody's like, "Yeah, we don't recognize people from
No.
that school," which happens.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Accreditation. Yeah.
so yeah, so I would say definitely analytics,
Nice.
medical field,
Mhm.
cybersecurity. If you get in while it's hot,
Oh yeah. Exactly.
that's
Exactly.
there.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I think that's great because some people, even people I deal with, right here in our field, right here in the telecom arena, right? They may have been doing it for 10 years, may have been doing it for, you know, 5 years. And, they get to a point where they start to feel maybe stuck about what it is they're doing or not knowing what the next steps are. And, you can say, hey, you should, I know that this is a potential career path for what it is you do, or this is a potential career path for what it is you do. But the other part that you have to have with that is the part that you just gave, right? Which is so important, which is what muscle do I need to strengthen to make sure that when I take that career path, I'm set up to do it. And like you said, people don't ask me what Cracker Jack box did you get this degree out of, right? Or this certification out of. And I think that hits the nail on the head.
Yeah,
That's perfect.
I think one other thing is, unlike most fields, technology is constantly changing.
Yeah.
So it's not that you got this degree and that's it. I don't have to continue to learn. You're
Mhm.
going to constantly continue to learn.
Yeah.
And for people who are inquisitive, it's great
Mhm.
because what you did 5 years ago may not be exactly relevant today.
Mhm.
So you consistently have to change it because technology is changing to keep in line with the work that you're doing. So
Yeah.
for me, I'm a busybody. It
Yeah.
keeps me on my toes. So I'm in the right place
Right.
for me.
Mhm.
But, I think as we get older, especially with some people going back to school, now, do
Yeah.
what you like
Yeah.
because no one wants to do what they hate.
No.
And if you have a chance to pivot, do it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No, I think that's perfect. It's like you said, right? I've worked my way into a position where my bills are taken care of. I have a job. You know, why am I going to go and try to like force myself into a educational path that I don't want to do? I worked too
Right,
hard for that. That's so
right.
true.
You know, I believe a lot. People should go out and do the things that are hard
Yeah.
sometimes because it's hard for a reason.
If it
Because
was easy, everybody be doing it, right?
everybody would be doing it. Yeah,
All right.
you know.
Yeah. Well, so you had mentioned something a little earlier. I want to harken back to that a little bit. And you had mentioned your experience at the farmers market. And we've been talking tech, and you kind of hit an intersection that statistically, you don't see a lot of people like you, which is people of color, and then women of color, right, in the tech field.
Right.
And so I want to kind of harken back to that a bit because you mentioned that same kind of experience at the farmer's market, right? And you made it work.
Yeah.
In both situations, you have made this work, right? That's not always something people are able to do. Some people feel uncomfortable when they leave. Some people never feel comfortable in their whole career and they stay feeling uncomfortable for their whole life, right? I
Hmm.
want to know, first of all, can you tell me a little bit about your involvement in NAMIC, right? Being at the stature that you're at, which is amazing. And then second of all, just a little bit of advice for someone who may have been in one of those scenarios, right? It like your situation at the farmers market and like your situation here in the field that you're in now as well.
That's a hard one because you know what? I don't even think of it as
Yeah.
because I've been, I would call it pepper in the sand
Mm-hmm.
so much
Mm-hmm.
that I don't think of it as much.
Yeah.
So when things do happen, I'm like, oh, was that the reason why? I
Mm.
don't even, it kind of bounces off of me a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
My first degree is in architecture.
Oh wow. Yeah. Oh
So
wow. Yeah, definitely.
we so you know, it's consistently being one of the few.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but it also makes you strong.
Yeah.
You have to have some resilience because you're gonna have to stand alone at
Yeah.
times.
Hmm.
And you're gonna have to stand alone by yourself and you're gonna have to present that work the best you can
Yeah.
and be the best at it.
Mhm.
So being alone in some of those places where maybe they've never seen you or maybe they don't even want you there,
Yeah.
I'm coming to the party anyway.
Yeah.
I want to.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to be here.
Yeah.
I want to be here and partake in these things. And if you don't like me, there are 8
Yeah.
billion other people in this world. You
Yeah.
don't have to.
Yeah.
But I'm going to make my way here
Right.
because that's what I want. You should not ignore your feelings or anything,
Hmm.
but beware of the feeling, the second senses that you have, because they probably are right,
You're right.
but keep persevering through them
Yeah.
because there is success at the end of that.
You're right.
And maybe they've just never, maybe they have the same anxiety that you have. Maybe it's just a conversation, but you never know until you start talking to people how much more you have in common than you have difference.
Right.
And that's a part of like the farmers market. Yeah, it made me talk a little bit more.
Yeah.
It also made me recognize what other people were doing around me
Yeah.
to make things work because there was another black lady across from me and they put us like directly across from each other
Yeah.
but we weren't selling the same things.
Yeah.
But the way that she advertised and the way that I did were different.
Yeah.
Like she sold pies
Mm.
and I did salsa and I did prepared foods,
Yeah.
but she would just kind of sit there.
Mm.
You want pie or you don't.
Right.
And I thought, and I was like, the customer service on that is kind of,
Yeah.
ee.
Yeah.
And I went over there and talked to her a few times. And, you know, we did like food exchanges and stuff like that
Right.
within the market. Like, you give me this, I give you this. You know, it's not really cash involved because it's not the type of, you know, you don't want to do that
The
to
barter
other,
system. Right. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
barter system out here. She never would barter.
Why? Yeah.
Yeah. But she didn't but she didn't stay there she wasn't successful at the market.
Oh wow. Yeah.
She didn't last the whole time,
Yeah.
but I did.
Hmm.
But it was really talking to customers and getting my fellow other farmers to send people my way because
Yeah.
if they ate the food and they liked it, people see people eating the food,
Right.
that brought people in because they want to know what's here. You know, as being an IT, I'm not as talkative. You know,
Yeah.
we're in the office,
Yeah.
we're doing our work, which no one knows what we do.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm the same. Yep.
So
Some
so
of
the
the
question always
yeah.
is, are you busy? And I'm
Yeah.
like, I am always busy. There's always something.
Yep.
And I know that sometimes I can come off cold a little bit because I'm trying to get you back out and get you back. I'm trying to resolve your problem quickly
Right.
because you know you got to get out there and you got to make money.
Yeah.
That's your purpose.
Yeah.
But then every now and then I have to break and go, "Hey, how was your day?"
Yeah.
Or I put things in my office like awards or my trophies, and so some people they will ask about them because they're interesting.
Yeah.
And then that I did that intentionally to spark a conversation.
Sure.
So it breaks down some of
Yeah.
it breaks me out of my routine
Yeah.
to go, yeah, you have to speak to these people too, but also that
Yeah.
comes in and changes being the only one,
Right.
because now I've broken through to them. They thought I was some way, and now they have gotten a different perspective of
Yeah.
me about, interests or what you could do. And then you get people stopping by.
Yeah.
And where that's worked is with, we work with all levels,
Mhm.
from entry level and up to, I do executive support. So I support all the VPs in my building too. You have to learn how to talk to everybody.
Right.
And being IT person of color, the only IT in there, you know, they expect a level of support,
Yeah.
but also they don't I don't think they want to also delve into stereotypes. And I don't want them to delve in there either. So I try to do my best to break any social norms that they think.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
come across just as, good person doing their job, but also I could be funny, or
Yeah.
I could give you some weird tips or a funny story or some different information that you never even thought of.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not the scary person. Come to my door, you can say hello. I think that's what has being alone so many times in those
Yeah.
situations has taught me. I know how to break the ice.
Exactly. Exactly. Knowing yourself enough to know, hey, when I'm here, right, I'm an IT person. I know I'm into tech. Probably one of the strongest relationships I have is with my computer, right? So having having things around
Exactly.
me that makes me look away, that makes me say, okay, wait a second, is that a human talking? Let me get back into human mode, right? Yeah, I got
Yeah,
this award here, or this picture is a picture of me here, right? Like having those things and knowing yourself well enough to see ways that you can help break the ice for yourself, I think that's amazing. I think that's a great idea.
yeah. I think, people don't decorate their desks anymore.
No.
If you're in an office and with so many people working from home,
Yeah,
making that human connection is a little bit more difficult
it is. Yeah.
for people to do. We're losing that skill of, I guess coffee banter.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
we miss that, like that hello in the hallway. Now it's awkward. I don't know you, but I've been passing you for like 2 years. Have you stopped and like said anything to him or
Yeah.
bumped into him? Like we're not all robots. I know I
No.
seem like one sometimes, but but like I try to pull some of those human things
That's awesome.
also in to soften it up, but in my mind it makes it easier so I don't feel singled out also.
I love it. I think that's great. And I'm just kind of being able to talk to you and kind of get into your mind a little bit. And you're the vice president of NAMIC Chicago, right?
Yes.
That's no small thing, right? For one, it's probably one of the bigger cities in the NAMIC national group. And then you're second in command, right? So,
Right.
hearing a little bit about, how you approach these things and just kind of get into your mind a little bit. A lot of that makes a lot of sense, right? So can you give me a little bit of background maybe on how you heard about NAMIC, how you got involved, and maybe even how long you've been involved?
Okay. I mean, that's an interesting one. It's, I started NAMIC a long time ago,
Yeah.
and the reason I got in was I was assisting with the computer of the president
Hmm.
of NAMIC. I didn't
Oh,
know this at the time.
wow.
I didn't know this. She was just, but I'm assisting with her, and we became friends, and she's like, "We need somebody with your skills."
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what do you need? Like, what is this group? Because
Mhm.
I didn't know. And
Yeah.
she's like, we need somebody to do our websites. I was like, oh yeah, I build websites. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can do that. And so that's how I actually came into the group as like our technology liaison to
That's
like
amazing.
help produce and make a website.
Yeah.
And then I was with it for a while, and then some leadership changes, and I kind of when she left, I kind of stopped. I was in it for maybe a year more, and then I just didn't. They didn't really have they had somebody, they outsourced that, so they really didn't have a use for me.
Hmm.
So I just kind of quit going.
Yeah.
And then uh, about 2 years ago, actually around the same time that I went re-enrolled in school,
Mhm.
my manager is always talking about, guys, ERGs are a good way to meet people and to meet upper management, and you never know where those doors open up
Right.
within groups like this. And he literally preaches it for years and years and years. And I was like, you know what? There are some board positions open.
Yeah.
I should step back into that. And I knew with school it would be tough, but I was like, if things are easy, same thing. If
Yeah.
things are easy, not everybody's gonna do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And uh I've actually been the vice president of a lot of things. Like in high school, I was a vice president of our class. At
Wow.
college, I was vice president of student council, and I was
Yeah.
vice president of student council. So it's kind of like a position I liked,
Yeah.
because I feel like this vice president can do a lot of the dirty work behind the scenes,
Yeah.
but doesn't have to be the face. Like I don't have to talk,
Yeah.
but I really helped get a lot of this stuff pushed through.
Yeah.
So I like it that Tanya can be great and smiley, and she could talk her way through anything, and I
Mhm.
can get the job done.
Nice.
That's where I liked it, and then I could, I can move up under her, because she does things in a different way than I do. She's very energetic personality,
Yeah.
and I see the way that she works with things, and it's almost like to me it's almost like a mentorship. Like I
Mhm.
would want to do that at some point.
Mhm.
I don't feel like I'm ready yet, but it gives me the ability to see what's going on. It gives me ability to, we have to plan events.
Mhm.
There's other people that recruitment. There's people asking me about how things happen, because they look at me at portion of leadership, and what are you doing for change? What do you see
Yeah.
going on? It pushed me in a place where, yes, I have to be that representative too. I need to get it together, because I'm representing someone more than myself right now.
Yeah.
And it was just challenges, and I like doing it, and I like helping people too.
Yeah.
So it was the right fit for me at the right time.
Mm. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. And so it sounds like leadership is nothing new to you. It sounds like you've kind of been doing the leadership portion of things for a while. And
Yeah, but you step in and out though. Sometimes, some people are constant leaders, and I feel like I stepped in and out. I needed a challenge.
sure.
I needed
Yeah.
something to keep me challenged and focused. And
Yeah.
that's why I chose to come back.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I know that the Chicago chapter is better for it, and definitely I appreciate that I was actually able to speak with you to get you on the podcast. I think this is great. And just to think about that, just kind of keeping it on Name It for just another minute, it's something I think about a lot these days, right? With kind of how things are going in the overarching political view of what naming is here for. And the reason why we're here historically, right? Can you tell me a little bit about
Mhm.
can you tell me a little bit about the part that you would hope that the chapter you're in, right, in the position that you have, what part would you hope that you could play or that your chapter plays in, I guess, helping people who want to get into this media communications tech space?
Yeah, I think that we are a good landing spot right now.
Yeah.
I think we're an important place, because with what's going on in our administration, a lot of policies that are made for people of color, ethnicities, and genders
Mhm.
are disappearing.
Yeah.
And so we're filling a void for those missing places where you can let your hair down and talk here about what's happening, and you can get support about what to do. We
Mhm.
also have, there's a job board, which is exclusive to us too, where you can go and look and see what's available. You can go through the listing of the members. You'd be amazed what kind of members are involved in NAMIC, and it gives you access to them. Like you're looking for a mentor, we have mentorship programs to help you. A lot of people have been to it. I want to do it, but I don't have enough space and
Yeah.
hours in a day
Yeah.
to fit that one in.
Mhm.
But we want to get people on that, because sometimes it is a little harder for us. Not everybody has had my experiences and can bounce back off of them. I don't expect anybody to. And so some people need more support, and we are there. Like, if you see the programs that are being taken away, Black women are losing their jobs at a higher rate than anyone else in this country. So we need this right now to talk about how we're going to pivot. We talked about education. We talked about going out and pursuing that goal, even if it's not within your job right now. We're a place where when we get together and we do things, sometimes it's volunteer, but it's not just about us. No. It's about going out there and helping other people too. And then while helping, you may meet somebody that you didn't know. Like, they just have a t-shirt and jeans on today, but are you talking to some manager from another group who now you guys are just chit-chatting it up, and now you messaging them on Teams because they liked your personality and they liked what you had to say. That's the way that some positions work, where you get access to other things. So I think we're a very important space right now that needs to stay where we are. And we might have to work a little bit harder now because people may rely on us more than they did before, because there's less access and less funding to other programs.
No, absolutely. I think, I agree 100%, that, organizations like this one, this is where it kicks in, right? This is where the rubber meets the road. Is there a piece of media right now, whether it's a book, TV show, or maybe a blog or something that you follow, something like that, that you recommend to some of the listeners, something that either inspires you or educates you or makes you laugh, right? Something that you could recommend to some of our listeners?
Oh gosh, let me make a good one.
I'll put you on the spot.
That's for everybody, because I literally just, okay. I think she's funny. Her name is Miss IROC. She also Miss IROC. She's also known as Big Patty.
Oh, okay.
And during the government shutdown, she started making songs about like semi-political songs, but they're hilarious. And I follow and watch her, but her alter ego is Miss IROC. And my mom had a Firebird in the 80s.
Okay, the IROC. Okay, got you now. Okay, I'm with you now. Yeah.
And so she has an IROC, and I've always wanted my mom's car, and when it came time for me to get it, incident happened, and I never got the Firebird.
Oh man.
And so I still like cars. I love cars. I put a few transmissions in this year.
Nice.
Because we fixed her. And so I've been looking at she got a classic car. And now she's going out to these car shows. She is a Black woman who wears a blonde mullet to car shows.
Wow.
And once again, we're taking up space in spaces that are not ours. And everybody thinks this is hilarious. And it goes back to, like, you're the only one, and she is super funny. But I watch her in this car, and then a Firebird came across my Facebook 2 days ago. It's a project car. It's got the engine and everything, but it needs to be finished. And I was like, do I become Miss Firebird?
Is this me now? Is this my sign?
Is this my sign that I need to get a Firebird like Miss IROC and like live out my mom's 80s fantasy in a Firebird with really bad rear end suspension? And I'm like, maybe this is what I want to do. But I mean, is it inspirational? Not necessarily, but is it clean humor that makes me laugh and just is about a whole lot of fun? Because everything else, I'm gonna go, like, I'm really into drones right now.
Oh, nice, yeah.
And so I fly drones a lot. So I would be like, hey, that's something that you and your kids could do. Right. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
To get out there and fly drones like that. If I'm not like tinkering around looking at like car videos and stuff, and I like electronics. I love electronics. Like, I fix EV cars and stuff. So everything that I do is kind of a little bit it's kind of techie and a little bit. I will stray far from the nerdy path,
Yeah.
but yeah, drones. Apparently, 80s Firebirds and mullets.
Firebirds. Nice.
Firebirds and mullets. That's what I kind of look at right
I
now.
love
Like
it.
keeps me interested in going, and I like bicycling.
Nice.
I love
Nice.
I love I love biking.
Ah,
That's something, getting outside and riding. That's we talked before, like about travels. That's why I'm going to Australia. I'm going to a race in Australia.
okay, nice. Wow. Okay. Very, so are you participating or are you just kind of going for that?
No, it's a I 2 years ago I did the world championship here in Rock Hill.
Oh, wow.
Um, and so I skipped this year, and the next year is going to be in Australia.
That's
So that's where we're going to go this year for the world championship of BMX racing.
That
Um,
is amazing. I'm trying to figure out how you fit all this into 24 hours, and I have a hard time like with little things. I'm like, this is amazing. That's amazing. Wow, that is crazy.
I'd be like, I don't have kids, so
That there you go.
so
I hear you there.
that
That helps.
that takes some of the time off, it takes some of the time away. But yeah, that's how we fit all those into the same. To this, we are real strict about projects around here.
Yes,
No
that's it
projects
though.
can linger. You know
I love it though.
that's one thing I would say. Strict on project finishing.
Right.
So all those people who are looking to be analysts or project managers,
Yeah.
that is one of those boxes, man.
Yeah.
You got to finish the project. It has to, at some point, it has to end. We all have
Yeah.
projects that are sitting around the house, or that laundry that we've been
Yeah.
looking at in the chair and we have not folded. It's clean,
Yeah.
but we have not
It's just
folded it.
it's looking at me and I'm looking at it and it's just
Right, right. We haven't changed that project management. That's something that I definitely work on to finish projects so I can continue on doing more fun things.
yeah. And see, and you know what? And that I think you said it's not inspirational, but it is. It is, right? When times are uncertain, when you have to work twice as hard as you were before to try to make ends meet or to try to get certain projects done, it is inspirational to have joy, to find things that bring you joy, right? Whether it's, whether it's Miss IROC's videos, whether it's actually going out and you know, uh, doing your own project car, whether it's your bike race, whatever it is, right? What that thing that brings you joy is inspirational, and I for one am inspired by your words today, and just in general your story. I think that anybody who listens to this will be able to take that from it as well.
Yeah, people should have more. I think people should have more fun. Like we gotta, as someone who is in technology, we gotta come up off of our phones sometimes and smell the roses that are in front of you
That's right.
a little bit, and enjoy what's in front of you,
Yeah.
because time is one thing that you can't get back.
Yeah.
And if you spent the time scrolling, at the end of it, you're like, well, I could have did this, but I was on TikTok.
Yeah. What do I
I
have to
could have did
show?
this,
Yeah.
but I was doing this. I'm like, we have to get out more. I think that's just one thing I wish people could get out there and just do more things with each other. We could
Yeah.
become more social with each other in general. That would be like such a positive thing for next year that doesn't cost money
Right.
that we could do.
I agree. I agree. This has been so good, Anitra. I really appreciate you joining me for this Next Up with Naming St. Louis podcast. And I actually hope to at some point possibly get you back because I want to hear the follow up about how Australia went. Honestly,
As long as I do not fall on the track, I'm perfectly happy
then
wherever
that's a
I
win.
end up.
That's right. Then
That's a
it's a
win.
win. That's it.
It's always a win. Come back with no injuries, a win is a win.
That's it. That's it. I love it. I love it. Well, again, thank you so much, Anitra. Before we do go, do you have any places that we can find you, right? I know you have a salsa company and you do some other entrepreneurial ventures on the side. Do you want to maybe give a plug on some of those?
You can always look up Soul Salsa 312. 312 is for Chicago.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't know if I'm going back to the farmers market this
Hmm.
year because of, just it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
But we're trying to finish out and figure out how, just logistically the truck is going to work.
Yeah.
That's what, with me working and the truck, that's a little bit difficult. Is it going to be like a weekender thing
Right.
or something? But that's the next goal, to figure out how we can use the truck, like, some of the, 4 days a week. That's my next goal for that one. And if
Nice.
you want to find me biking, I'm a part of it. We're called Factory Sprocket Kings. We're out of Indiana, USA BMX. I didn't do the Grand Nationals this year. I took a year off because I'm going to Worlds, but you can look up on USA BMX, and I am there too.
Nice. That's amazing. That is amazing. Well, again, thank you so much, Anitra, for joining Next Up with NAMIC St. Louis podcast. And thank you all for listening to this latest episode of NAMIC St. Louis. Next Up with NAMIC St. Louis podcast. And you all have a great day.
You guys have a great day. Thank you for allowing me to come on, Will.
Thank you.
Thank you, listeners, for tuning in to today's episode. We hope you found it encouraging and insightful. With over 15 chapters nationwide, NAMIC is passionate about diversity, equity, and inclusion in the communications industry, with a wider range of professional development opportunities, networking events, and leadership programs. NAMIC is dedicated to empowering multi-ethnic diversity in the media and communications industry. Members gain access to valuable resources, industry insight, and an incredible community of like-minded professionals. For more information, go to NAMIC.com or to the NAMIC St. Louis chapter at NAMICStLouis.com or LinkedIn at LinkedIn.com/NAMIC St. Louis. Thank you and have a wonderful month. See you next time.